Good morning, children. Today we are going to discuss the same chapter number 3, the cell. This is the lecture for class 6. In the previous lecture, children, we had discussed about the cell organelles. And before that, we had already discussed about cell wall, cell membrane, nucleus and cytoplasm. After that, in the last lecture, we had discussed about the cell organelles, and in that we had discussed about the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, as I told you that endoplasmic reticulums, they are of two types. One is the rough endoplasmic reticulum, second is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum is rough because on the outer surface it contains the ribosomes, and the smooth endoplasmic reticulum is smooth because it doesn't contain any ribosome on its surface. Okay, and after that we had discussed about mitochondria. So as I told you, mitochondria is also called the powerhouse of the cell, as mitochondria provide energy for all the activity of the cell. So that is why it is also called the powerhouse of the cell. Other than that, we had discussed the structure of the mitochondria. In this, as I told you that there are two membranes, one is the outer membrane and one is the inner membrane. Other than that, there are small finger-like projections inside the mitochondria. These are called cristae. Okay, now why the inner membrane is folded? Because as I told you, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, because it releases the energy and make the energy inside the cell. So because of those finger-like projection, it will get a large space. So that is why, because this large finger-like structure, they provide the large surface area to the cell. If we open the outer membrane and if we open the inner membrane, so the length of both the membranes will be different. The inner membrane will be longer and the outer will be shorter. So because of that, the inner membrane is having the finger-like projection, it provides the large surface area for the production of energy, and this is called cristae. We have discussed about mitochondria. After that, we had discussed about the Golgi bodies. In Golgi body, children, one structure is cristae. Okay, cristae, and in mitochondria we had discussed cristae. So don't get confused. The structures those are present inside the mitochondria, they are cristae, and the structures those are present inside the Golgi bodies, they are called cristae. As I told you in the previous lecture also, these are the small sac-like structure present one over the other. So these are the cristae. Now today we are going to start with the next topic, that is lysosomes. These are also a very important part of the cell. First, I would like you to show the presence of the lysosomes. This is an animal cell. You can see this yellowish figure. It is a lysosome. So lysosomes, they are present almost at any place. We can't specify that this is the place where the lysosomes are present. So as you can see, they are present in the side. They can be present in the middle, in the peripheries, anywhere they can be present. So now we are going to discuss about what is a lysosome. Okay, lysosomes, they are simply very tiny, spherical, sac-like structure. They are of any shape. Okay, you can say they are maybe like a sac, they are maybe like a circle, they are spherical, they may be like a vesicle. So one figure is given in your book. So lysosomes, they are of any shape. Now their membrane is a single membrane. Their membrane is a single membrane. So those membranes, if I show it in your copy, so lysosomes, they are having a single membrane, and those membranes, they are covered by enzymes. Those membranes are covered by enzymes, and this is a single, it is not double membered membranes, it has only a single membrane, and it is covered by different enzymes. Many layers of enzymes are there. Okay, now if you have to write about lysosome, how you are going to write? as I have shown you, lysosomes are very small spherical sac-like structure distributed in the cytoplasm. They are single layer and contain many enzymes. They are like a garbage disposal system in a cell. Now what does it mean? Garbage disposal system in the cell. Now what happens? Suppose something enters inside the cell, and that is a foreign particle. If it is coming from outside and cell doesn't need that, so we can call it a foreign particle. So if any foreign material enters inside the cell, just like bacteria or virus, so immediately the lysosomes destroy those foreign materials. They eat those foreign materials. They destroy those foreign material. So if those foreign material, they will not harm the cell. Second thing is, they also removes the worn out and poorly working circular organelles by digesting them. What does it mean? In a cell, as I told you, mitochondria is there, ribosomes are there, my endoplasmic reticulum is there, nucleus is there, many other cell organelles are there. So what they do, if any cell is damaged, if any cell is poorly working, so what they do, they simply digest those cell organelles. That is why I told you these are the garbage disposal system in a cell. If any cell organelles die, so it will be remain in the cell. If any cell organelle is not working properly, after some days it will be a useless organelle. So they eat those cell organelles. Why they eat those cell organelles? Because on their outer wall they have enzymes. Lysosomes, they are having the enzymes. Those enzymes, they will eat the poorly working cell organelles as well as the worn out cell, damaged cell. They will eat. So there will be no garbage in the cell because they have already eaten. So that is why they are also called garbage disposal system. We can ask you the question, why lysosomes are called garbage disposal system? Why? Because they destroy the foreign material which enter the cell like bacteria and virus, and they also remove the worn out and poorly working circular organelles by digesting them. Okay, now one more thing about lysosomes. Lysosomes are also called suicidal bag of the cell. Suicidal bag, what does it mean? Now what happened? During the breakdown of cell structure, when there is a formation of cell structure, the cell damages. Okay, at that time when the cell is damaging, the lysosomes, they are eating the damaged cell because they are in the habit of eating the damaged cell. So when there is a breakdown in the cell structure, the cell damages and the lysosomes, they start eating a lot of cell organelles of the cell. At that time, because they are eating a lot of cell from outside, they burst. When they burst and the enzyme eat up their own cells. The cells present on the outer, suppose this is a lysosome, it will eat a lot of material from outside. After that it will burst. When it will burst, the enzyme present on the outer side, it will eat its own cell. So that is why the lysosomes, they are called the suicidal bag of the cell. Suicidal bag means they just burst, and after bursting also they eat their own cell. So that is why they are called the suicidal bags of the cell. Is that clear, children? So this is about the lysosomes. Now the second topic that we are going to take today is the centrosome. Now a centrosome, they are oval, rounded, non-membranous organelles. They are very small in size and they are non-membranous. It means their structure only, they have a very thin membrane on them. Okay. Now the main thing is that they are only found in animal cell. The centrosomes, they are only found in animal cell. They are absent in plant cell. And where they are present? They are present near to the cell nucleus in the cytoplasm. As I have already taught you nucleus. So where it will be, centrosome will be present? It will present near to the nucleus. Now it consists of two minute granules called centrioles. Okay, now these two minute centrioles are present. Now the cell is going to divide, so they will distribute. One centriole goes in one cell, another comes in another cell. Okay, so centrioles, what they call at the time of cell division, the centrioles, they helps the cell in cell division, and especially in animal cells. So centromes are present. Centromes, they consist of two minute granules. Granules means a small circle-like structure. They are present, and these are called centrioles. They are the part of centrosomes. They are present in the cell near to the nucleus. At the certain type of cell division, they distribute themselves in a cell and they help the cell in cell division, and they are only present in the animal cell. The next topic is plastids. Plastids is also a very important topic. As you can see in the diagram, this is the structure of chloroplast. This structure, children, you all have to draw in your copy. Okay, I will give you as a homework also in the dashboard. This structure you all have to draw. Now first I would like to explain you the structure of plastids. Now as you can see, plastids in this structure, they are greenish in color. Okay, so in the plastids, if they are present in the cell, so they are, what are they? First thing is that plastids are the organelles containing pigments. Okay, first thing is plastids are the organelles that contains a pigment. They are present in the pigment just like chloroplast. Plants are green in color. The leaves of the plants are green in color. Why the leaves of the plants are green in color? Because they have the chlorophyll pigment. Okay. If we talk about the flowers petals are colored and the sepals are greenish in color. Stem is green in color. So why they have different type of colors? Sometimes yellow flower we see a rose is having different type of colors. Every flower have some colors in them. Okay, so why the flowers are having the colors? Because they have the pigment, that is plastids they have. And the plastid, what are they? They are the organelles of the cell which contain pigment. What is a plastid? Plastid is a organelle. Organelle means it is a part of the cell. So the organelles containing pigments present in the cytoplasm of the cell, plant cell, is called plastid. Why we have used the word plant cell? Because red color, yellow color, green color, blackish, many type of colors are present in the cell. The leaves, the petals. So mainly they are present in the plant cell. So organelle containing pigment present in the cytoplasm of a cell are called plastids. Now plastids, they can be classified into three types: chloroplast, chromoplast and leucoplast. Okay, chloro means green. So if the plastids are of green color, they contain a green pigment, then those plastids are called chloroplast. We have the structure of chloroplast that I will explain you later on. Second is chromoplast. Chromoplast means coloring pigment, any coloring pigment except green. So if they impart color like red, yellow, orange, then these pigments, this type of plastids are called chromoplast. Leucoplast, these are colorless pigment. Just like if we see a potato doesn't have yellow color, orange color, green color. So, but potato stores food. So that is a leucoplast. It is a pigment. The pigment is leucoplast. That is colorless pigment. And it is found in the form of food like starch, fats and proteins. So three type of plastids are there: chloroplast, chromoplast and leucoplast. Now we are going to discuss the structure of chloroplast. chloroplast. So I have the structure of chloroplast. Already the structure is also in your book. So how to draw? In this we can draw that chloroplast, it contains two membranes. As I am drawing it here, you can see chloroplast has two membranes, the outer membrane and the second membrane is the inner membrane. Okay, outer and inner. One is the outer membrane, another one is the inner membrane. Now you can see in between those membrane there is some empty space. So that empty space will be called as intermembrane space. Inter means the space present between two membranes is called intermembranous space. Okay, now you can see this type of structures I have drawn. This rectangular structures we have drawn, and in your book also you can see the same diagram. Now these are attached with one another. Now if we talk about a single structure, if I talk about this single structure, that is called thylakoid. That is called thylakoid. When these structures stack one over another, you can see these many thylakoids are there. So at that time they form a granum. We can ask you, what is a thylakoid? Thylakoid is a single part of the granum. That is called a thylakoid. And what is a granum? Granum is when many thylakoids, they pile up one over the another. When they stalk together, they form a granum. Okay. Now other than that, it contains liquid substance, that is aqueous, we can say aqueous liquid. Already I have written here aqueous liquid, that is called stoma. Stoma is the aqueous liquid present in the chloroplast. Now this is a chloroplast. We have studied about thylakoid, we have studied about granum. Now these thylakoids, they contain green color. They contain green color. So that is why chloroplast contain a pigment. And what is the name of that pigment? What does it contain? That is chlorophyll. Okay. Now what is the use of chlorophyll? You all know, because since class 3 we are studying that chlorophyll is the pigment in the plant which helps in the preparation of food to the plants. The leaves of the plants, they contain a chlorophyll pigment. Because of that, the plants are able to absorb the sunlight from outside and they prepare their food. Without the green color, the plants are not able to absorb the sunlight in the form of energy, and they are not able to make their food. So the chloroplast, mainly it is present in the shoot system. Shoot means that system that is present above the soil. So mainly they are present in the shoot system. Roots, the chloroplast is absent. So in the dashboard I am going to give you those clicks. So you have to copy these as a notes in your copy. Here you can also see, you can pause the video and you can see that. And other than that, I will give you in the dashboard as a homework. So a few topics are left of this chapter. So next video we are going to discuss that. Thank you, children.